Okay, so you may have heard about Kyrsten Sinema being followed into the restroom by protesters, people that were trying to get her, I guess, to fall in line and support the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill. You know, there's ongoing infrastructure negotiations, and things have gotten very volatile, especially surrounding the two senators, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema themselves. I'm going to play for you the video. Take a look at the video, and then I'll talk about it.
Okay, I'll be back.
So then we want to talk to you real quick. Can we talk to you real quick?
Hi, actually, I am heading out.
But right now is a real moment that our people need in order for us to be able to talk about what's really happening. We need a Build Back Better plan right now.
We knocked on doors. We need solutions. The Build Back Better plan has the solutions that we need.
We knocked on doors for you to get you elected, and just how we got you elected, we can get you out of office if you don't support what you promised us.
We need 7 million citizenship for 7 million. We need the Build Back Better plan right now.
My name is Blanca. I was brought here to the United States when I was 3 years old. And in 2010, my grandparents both got deported because of SB 1070. And I'm here because I definitely believe that we need a pathway to citizenship. My grandfather passed away 2 weeks ago, and I was not able to go to Mexico and visit him because there is no pathway to citizenship. And if we have the opportunity to pass it right now, then we need to do it, because there's millions of undocumented people just like me who share the same story or even worse things that happen to them because of SB 1070 and because of anti-immigrant legislation. And this is the opportunity to pass it right now, and we need to hold you accountable to what you told us, what you promised us that you were going to pass when we knocked on doors for you. It's not right.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor of human trafficking, and it's because of the lack of worker protections that we don't have in the gig economy. I need you to stand by workers. Lots of people who are like me who became homeless and
All right, so that was that. What you just witnessed were people expressing their grievances to Miss Kyrsten Sinema about decisions that she's made, ideological stances that she has, and the fact that she's currently holding up infrastructure negotiations that contain legislation that would be incredibly positive for millions of Americans. Now, Joe Biden was asked about this, and his response was actually kind of surprising. It seems like he's fed up with Sinema's bullshit as well. He says, "I don't think they're appropriate tactics, but it happens to everybody." And then he let out a little bit of a laugh. He also said that it's a part of the process or whatever. So what do I think about this? Now, a little bit of disclaimer. I don't create videos under the pretense of, okay, once I upload this, people may see it and agree with me. That's not what I do. I state my opinion, and my opinion is my own. So you may have looked at that video and said, wow, that's the most vile, unnecessary, ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. This is some form of harassment. I look at that video and I go, well deserved. Very well deserved. Look, those people were extremely respectful in what they were doing, whether or not you think that they should have followed her into the restroom or not. One can also question, why the retreat into the restroom when you're confronted by people that are antagonistic to you, and rightfully so in her case. And just a little bit of backstory. So her constituents have not been able to reach her. They can't reach her through her people. They can't call. When they try to go to her office, they're avoided or evaded. They can't reach her at all. And so this type of direct action is the only way that they can make their voices heard, and they're exercising their right to do so. Now, why is it that I don't have any sympathy for Kyrsten Sinema in that video? Why do I think that this is well deserved? Why don't I care that, this type of thing has happened to her? And there has been an outcry on social media from the liberal class, from the Get Back to Brunch people. Oh, whoa, is Kyrsten Sinema? She hasn't done anything wrong. She's just, standing her ground, and she gets harassed like this should never happen. It's a breach of decorum and all the rest of it. Those types of things that they like to espouse on a daily basis. Look, I'm just going to give you one example. I could give you several, but I'll just stick with the one. In this bill is a provision that allows Medicare to negotiate for lower drug prices for Americans. Public Citizen just published a report of how serial Americans get price gouged and how big of a problem profiteering is as regards to big pharma and the pharmaceutical industries when it comes to overcharging Americans for the price of drugs, right? Kyrsten Sinema is against that. She's against Medicare negotiating for lower drug prices. What happens? And many people have made this point. I've watched commentary on it, but I'll just be the latest, I guess. What happens when Americans can't afford their medicine? What happens when they have to ration their medicine? They die. They don't have the medication to keep them living, so they die. One could argue that Kyrsten Sinema and people like her that oppose this type of legislation has blood on their hands. People can. The same way that people say that those who voted for the Iraq War, that those who were for the Afghanistan War, those who were for the Vietnam War, have blood on their hands. They're war criminals because you allowed that to happen. And she's currently allowing people to not be able to pay for lower drug prices. And that, to me, is 100 times more reprehensible than simply following someone into the bathroom with questions. I mean, I'm just being honest. You can agree, you can disagree. I don't really care. That's my stance on it. But of course, the liberal class, the establishment, the people that would like to push propaganda and obfuscate like those people don't have actual grievances, like their plights don't have any sort of rationale behind them. They want to pretend like this is some sort of big intrusion on the privacy of a senator, when in fact it's nothing. Look, man, I actually like the fact that this happened. I wish that this happened to all these people anytime they stepped out in public. With George W. Bush, he recently spoke at an event where a person, an anti-war crusader, I can't think of the gentleman's name, I'm so sorry, but he called him out for the Iraq War. He's a former veteran and he lost friends and the whole thing. I want that to happen to George W. anytime he goes out. People were outside of the event protesting him, saying that he should be jailed, and he should. In the right, in a just society, George W. Bush would have been subjected to the Hague, as Donald Rumsfeld, Henry Kissinger, Dick Cheney, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, everybody that came after and before him would have met the same fate because they're all war criminals. That's a trait that many of these politicians share. Okay, Hillary Clinton voted for NSA spying, voted for the Iraq War. You know, I mean, these things should be brought up to these people every time they step out. And this is just the latest case of it happening. So I have no sympathy. And if you don't want these things to happen, then get in line and support lower drug prices. Get in line and support universal pre-K. Get in line and support free community college. It's not that difficult. It really isn't.